Beer O'Clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. I went to Home Bargains recently and I picked up some beer, a couple of lagers, a couple of bitters, and, well, what I believed at the time to be, because Home Bargains have dabbled in beer now, their own like range of beers, brewed by breweries, but with their own kind of like stamp on it. They've done this for a while, and I've noticed these new Higson's beers in Home Bargains at £1.20 a bottle. But I have a question for you guys first and foremost, and the question is, I've done a little bit of research myself. Obviously, this brewery has been kind of, because they go back 1780. My research showed me that Whitbread bought this brewery in either the 1980s or the 1990s, and they did what every other brewery that was bought by Whitbread, they closed down. Whitbread just put it into one big production of Higson's beers for the local area in their big brewery, and they shut the Higson's brewery down. But it looks like late 20 or early 2020s, a company's come in and purchased the Higson's brand, and they've produced these beers now in a it seems to be like they invested a lot of money in some kind of complex in Liverpool, like a tap room and stuff, and well, it seems to have done quite well. The reason why I think it's done quite well is because now the beers are in Home Bargains. But initially, and this is where my question finally comes in, because I couldn't find too much on the history of this brewery and what's happened since they've been bought out. Is this just an exclusive Home Bargains brewed beer? I'm presuming it is, because this is what they've done before, but the question is with you guys. So this is their golden ale at 4% ABV. Each bottle cost me £1.20. They're in a nice dark brown bottle with a black bottle cap. Here's a brown ale at 3.4% ABV, 500ml bottle. And here's the bitter ale at 3.8% ABV. And they've got that Liverpool, is it a Phoenix? It's kind of very close to the Liverpool Football Club, Phoenix there. 1780, so a lot of history then, goes back to when Liverpool was a massive thriving dock with lots of industry going on, thirst quenching beers to be produced by Higson's Brewery. So here we go then. No more nattering, no more talking. Oh well, there will be, but in a review. So we got a one finger white head, good levels of carbonation, golden coloured beer. That's their bitter ale. Let's get their 4% golden ale out. A little bit of smoke on the bottle opening. Two finger white head on this one. 1 to 2 finger white head. Lovely golden colour. This looks good. This looks good. Good carbonation, and from this distance, pretty decent aroma too. Brown ale, 3.4% ABV. Maybe they based this off Mans or something like this, because I think the ABV, for me personally, is a little low. Personally, I think a brown ale should be about 4.5% ABV. Get some of that kind of nuttiness in there, really get that malt in there. At 3.4, I'm already thinking this might be a little low. But it looks good. Looks good. One finger white head. Cherry, dark brownish colour. No sediment. Good carbonation. There we go, so there's the beers poured out. After a minute or two, the bitter's lost its head. The golden ale is on its way to losing its head, but it all looks decent stuff for the price. Let's get into the bitter. 3.8% ABV, 30 IBUs. Smells okay. A little bit of biscuitiness in there, a little bit of kind of breadiness. A little bit of a hoppiness. Let's dive in. Cheers. Quite bitter. A little bit tinny, a little bit metallic. Very thin. Brewed at a price, I'd say. Definitely brewed at a price. It tastes like a tin of Tesco value bitter. Sainsbury's value bitter. You can buy the 4 cans. Morrison's value bitter. It's that kind of very thin, very watery, little bit of roasted, like a darker malt coming through, but then lots of tinniness, lots of metallicness, and then a little bit of harsh bitterness. Not really for me, that. I'll be perfectly honest with you. And the point here is you can buy these 4 cans of Morrison's value bitter or Tesco value bitter, Sainsbury's value bitter. You can buy it for about £2.50 for 4 cans. So it's cheaper, even though the ABV is 3.8% on this and the value bitters would be about 2%. It's tasting relatively the same. It really is, and not so happy with that one, to be honest with you. I'm going to rate it, and I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10. Just not really kind of. I'd rather spend a little bit more money and enjoy the beer a little bit more. An extra 30-40 pence maybe a can. The thing is with home bargains is they're very good at bringing in international lagers. So probably sitting next to this Higson stuff is maybe some Tuborg Gold or some African lager that's probably just as cheap and 5% and an awful lot better, to be honest with you. Let's try the brown ale because it's 3.4% ABV. A little bit of caramel in there. Yeah, it's that tinny metallic. It's like someone's put a load of copper nails in the bottom of this glass and you're getting this really coppery, metallic, astringent, bitter taste. Not much in the way of kind of like nuttiness coming through, no kind of real brown ale aspect coming through on this. Again, if you're standing in home bargains and you've got a bottle of this in your hand for £1.20, put it down and buy one of their international lagers, Turkish lager, Efes or something, Efes Gold or Tuborg or African lager. It's so much better than this stuff. You never know though. You never know. The golden ale might be nice. 4% golden ale. The problem is with this is they've got this nice complex where you can go and have a beer in Liverpool. Maybe have some street food. But then if you try this beer in Home Bargains, you're probably not going to walk through the door, are you? Like if you're a tourist going to Liverpool for a couple of days and you see Higson's and you're like, oh, I had that from Home Bargains, it was awful. You're not going to walk through the door. And it's probably not a true representation of what the brewery is actually like. A little bit of zestiness, a little bit of zinginess going on, I suppose, here. Let's dive in. Good carbonation on this one. I'm going to wash away the brown ale a little bit here because it's masking this golden ale. That's the best of a bad bunch. The brown ale for me, I'm going to give it 4 out of 10 again. That's probably the best of a bad bunch. Again, astringent bitterness on the back end. It is a little bit zesty though. It is a little bit more flavoursome at 4% ABV with a little bit of that sweet malt coming through. But still, it's a struggle. It's a struggle. This one, I'd say the golden ale here from Higson's Brewery is a 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. So on a personal note for me, when I go to Home Bargains, I'll be leaving these on the shelf, unfortunately, and I'll be buying the international lager that Home Bargains are really good for. They're really, really good for it. I just don't understand why they keep, because they've been doing this for years now. They've been trying to like break into the beer market with their own branded beer, and it's just not working out. It's not working out because the quality's not there. The quality is not there. Here's a suggestion for Home Bargains if anybody's watching. Tesco's and Morrison's and Asda's, they're all selling craft beer at £3 a can at least. Brew something like Asda do. Put it in at £2.50. Come in cheaper than the big boys. Get in at £2.50 a can and make it half decent. If you're going to do craft beer, at least, or beer in general, at least just undercut them a little bit. Don't undercut them by a mile like this £1.20, and you know, people buy it once and they never buy it again. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of everybody's time. Hope you liked the video. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.